Hello and welcome to Classic Judging by the Cover, the series that likes wrinkly things more than a dried fruit enthusiast whose wife has just taken a very long bath, where we'll be judging Half-Life by the cover. Half-Life is a curious example in the world of cover art. For while it eschews the standard trappings of the art form, i.e. blank-faced, slightly angry everyman looking to camera holding gun, at least it did until the bloody Game of the Year edition, it's also not exactly following the classy Elder Scrolls minimalist tradition of trying to resemble a zoomed-in view of an expensive car's dashboard. Instead, Half-Life has chosen to make its box art resemble a sheet of heavily weathered orange-painted sheet metal, such as might be found on the side of a scrapped ocean-going merchant vessel, into which the logo and trademark of the game have been stamped by some kind of industrial imprinting equipment. In many ways, this is a very interpretive box art. We are invited to take our own meaning from the weird stains and rusty bits, the same way we make up pictures in the clouds. That looks to me like a number 8 just to the right of the Lambda logo, but maybe that's just my interpretation. Maybe it's actually a little chibi drawing of E.T. lying on his side, and I've just got the number 8 on the brain because that's the number of years since I last felt self-respect. The large dark stain that dominates the background is even more interpretive. Personally, I see a magnificent bird. Wings and tail feathers splayed as it gracefully smacks into the plate glass window on which the logo was stenciled. So not so much the thing itself as the stain that was left behind, and along the same theme, the collection of marks in the lower right look like part of a stubby-fingered handprint, such as might be left behind by a small monkey. So between all of this, I'm creating a scenario involving a mass breakout at the pet shop, foiled at the last moment by a set of locked glass doors. That's until we take a closer look and notice mysterious text stenciled onto this sheet of heavily weathered metal underneath the main logos. Text that at first glance slightly resembles code, albeit code typed up by someone with only vague ideas of what code is supposed to look like. See, here it clearly understood that you use multiple slash marks to comment out a line, but wasn't 100% sure how many slash marks you need, so he erred rather drastically on the side of caution. Most of the rest of it's pretty meaningless, although we catch the odd English word here and there, so maybe this is a report written up by someone trying to dissuade a cat from walking across his keyboard. There's decay possible, cause unknown, breakdown, 6 colons, radon. So best guess there's been some kind of breakdown possibly caused by radon, and the author has a similar approach to punctuation as he does to code notation. Let's leave aside the meaning of this mysterious text and instead focus on perhaps the more important question of why this text has been stamped into a wall of weathered sheet metal. It's a little bit prolonged to be the name of a ship, and too obscure to be assembly instructions. Perhaps it's intended as a general message to the dock workers or junkyard operators. If only you'd focused on your education and entered the STEM fields, perhaps you wouldn't now be staring up at a big piece of orange garbage. This is normally the point in the classic box art review where we point and laugh at alternate covers, and how those stupid Americans, stroke Europeans, stroke Japanese publishers missed the point like a dexterous Randy Hedgehog. But apparently the orange sheet metal look was an international hit, and most of the versions use it, barring the Game of the Year edition as we established, on which scientist hero Gordon Freeman wordlessly challenges an unseen foe. See this shotgun? I'm holding it completely wrong and I'm still gonna knock yo ass down. The pump on a pump-action shotgun, they usually put those on the top of the barrel, don't they? I am a scientist, I know these things. Note the little radioactive rosette in the lower right that says, awarded Game of the Year by over 50 publications. Note then the 2 little asterisks that come after the word publications. Presumably in some tucked-away corner of the box there's a little footnote stating that the definition of publication includes Gabe Newell's 27 live journals. But that's really all I've got. And I thought I was going to have to read aloud the box blurb in a silly voice, but then I dug a little deeper and sing choirs of angels, it's the Brazilian box art. Look at this! I think the big alien is concept art and everything else is in-game models, which is to stretch the term a little considering that the bloke with the minigun is not appearing in this game. This looks like some kind of police lineup where they were really pushing the result they wanted. Well, I think the person who attacked me was a human being. I mean, I don't specifically remember them having toilet roll holders for cheeks. Except some of the dudes are floating in the air, so I guess the rapture happened halfway through the parade. Jiminy Michaelmas, Brazilians! I'd expect better from a people whose name also means a procedure in which unsightly fluff is removed.